Yeah, so truth be told, so I sat down, I read the first issue of Silk, and it did not pass. It did not pass my gut check or my sniff test. You know, we do a lot of sniffing around here, aka padders. And what do I mean by that? But look. Every single comic book period, the intent from the creative standpoint is to, and this rolls into the health of the comic book. You read one issue, stick with me, and you want to read the next issue. It doesn't mean it's a perfect cliffhanger. It doesn't mean that even the issue itself is perfectly constructed. It just means that all the elements that make up a comic book reading experience, enough of those elements are there. Or in my IT world, we call those best practices. Enough best practices injected into a monthly comic book will create more monthly comic book readers. Some of the caveats for this, some of the chaos of the universe will be popular characters that we want to be popular, storylines we think will be perfect, character designs we think are going to hit. When we roll these other ideas in and we try and engineer, we still get failures. And we get failures even when we get good talent, great characters, great designs, great layouts, great logos, great all of it. And we still have titles to struggle. And some of this is like the hubris of American comic books. Because, we go just to DC, for example. We get Wonder Woman, we get Aquaman. Just for a quick example, like always struggle to really be relevant within a monthly continuity or monthly flow. Those characters work great in team-ups, crossovers, events, or teams like the Justice League. And similarly, for Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel Comics, none of the books outside the Jim Valentino era lasted more than 2 years, and there's a reason for that. Because as much as we love those movies, and hey, pretty good animated series as well, Guardians of the Galaxy just doesn't hold the interest when it comes to a month-to-month readership. It's astonishing. The movie can dominate the box office, can be a solid trilogy, all of these things, and at the same time completely fail on the comic book rack. Now, we get books like, I picked it up pretty good that time. We have Silk over here, and Silk is positioned, even from the modern progressive SJW era of Marvel Comics, it's positioned to sell because it's playing into a lot of those stereotypes and tropes that we think an audience wants. Now, that audience is split. We have traditionalists over here, the historians, the hardcore continuity people, the individuals that want every single issue to matter, but also lead into a next issue. And, that's a little bit of the circle round when you read monthly comics. And then over here, we have What About Us? Why can't we try this? Let's do this in comics. Let's make them more humorous. Let's roll in some food humor. Let's make less aggressive artwork and have a more of a, as they like to call it, a Tumblr art style for this book. But let's make a concise, conscious effort to lean into this direction, and that audience will pump the stock and make it grow. But we get here is not a lot of stuff. I tried reading these 5 issues. I didn't get too far. But when we hit the drawing table, I want to be honest with you guys with what I was going through as I was reading this and the disconnects that I believe exist. None of this has to do with the SJW side of Marvel Comics, because I'm coming into this as, number one, a reader, number two, as a reader that doesn't know much about the character, and number three, a reader that hasn't experienced this style of comic book often. So here we go. Let's hit that drawing table. AKA Padders, welcome back. Good morning. Cheers to all of you. We got Silk here on the drawing table underneath the microscope, as some YouTube commentators like to say. Say hello to Crypt. This is the Table of Crypt. And I'm Peter A. DeLuca, aka Pad69. Help me fight the algorithm. And subscribe, support, leave a comment, because YouTube is out to get me. We have a problem here. Issue 1 of this book read really fast. Issue 2 read fast. 3, 4, 5. It's a quick read. It's a quick read because we do things in this book that look at the panels, the captions, and the word balloons. These these are quick reads. They're quick reads. You read these in about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. The plot points that are scattered. Black Cat here has a agenda against Silk because Silk costs Black Cat money. Silk, if you ever seen the movie Old Boy, Silk was kept in a bunker for like 10 years. Silk's family is missing. We have these nice flashbacks here. Silk has a boyfriend that looked for her for 10 years. We have drunken villains being manipulated by Black Cat to get back at Silk. Silk befriends Spider-Man. She befriends the Fantastic Four. She goes on a date with Johnny Storm. There's so much that happens here, but it's not cohesive. There's no flow. She works on the weekends. She kind of has a friendly relationship with John Jonah Jameson. This gets to the point too where, like, I get it. Peter Parker. Right, last time I left Peter Parker, when I was regularly reading Spider-Man, he was a college professor. So fine, we need a spider character at the Daily Bugle. And yeah, so we kind of have this, I'm on the quest. Like, I'm on the quest to find my parents. And you're like, this is a good mystery. Because she is literally, she goes back to the bunker that she was kept in by Ezekiel. And she gets like a little bit of solace, a little bit of calm there. And she decides to track down her family. And issue 2 really like picks it up at a good speed where she's, you know, like actively looking. She's asking questions. She goes back to this pizza shop and we get this nice flashback of when she breaks up with her boyfriend because they're going to different colleges. And everything I'm telling you, the value here, let's just say $4. $4 and you get all of this story. You get all of this story for $4. But you spend $4, you spend $4, you spend $4, you spend $4, and you spend $4. And you spend way too much money for a story that takes you about 15-20 minutes to read. Stacey Lee, that's our artist here. She's fantastic. I love her style. I think the quippiness, we'll call it the 90s, or not the 90s, sorry. So we do too much 90s on this channel. We'll call it the 2010 style. Her art style, rendering style, presentation fits the writing style. But we get all of these other quips. We get these other jokes here. Like, just for example, like when we get into issue 2, she fights this Hydra head. Now, this also, like, if I were to wear my editor hat, I would want a better logo. Like, I kind of would want the logo to, like, look a little bit like Silk here. Kind of like, you know, like maybe kind of be a little bit stringy. You know, the spider maybe. But I would want the logo to illustrate her power. I would want this image here
like really, just to be like totally dynamic, right? Like we kind of we want to sell her in motion. Everything here, like this works just as of getting us into the character as a teenage girl, Cindy Moon, bitten by a same radioactive spider that bit Peter Parker. She was kept in that bunker for safety reasons. But we get this, like, see, it's right behind me, isn't it? This, see, she's in the tunnel, and there's a tentacle. We think it's Doctor Octopus. It's right behind me, isn't it? No, because we get that. Do we get that at the end of issue 3 too? No, we get that. Hold up here. There's another one of these. Which one is it? Nope. Hold up here. Maybe it's the end of issue 1. She says it. She says it about 3 times. One of them, she's being pursued by this dragon dude. But I would take that out. And then it's just like, all right, like perfect. And then she makes a lot of references to punching things in the face. See, I always wanted to punch a robot. Like, that's gotta go. And then this is a part of editing. Also, as editor, I would be like, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you know, like we got 4 pages in the middle of our book. You know, like it's too much. It's too much of a quick read. She comes out of this, you know, manhole tunnel, and we get this, like a turtle. She makes a turtle joke. And then we find out that her ex-boyfriend is engaged, and she kind of goes, I mean, like this is a great panel. Like this is great. This is great. Because we really feel the emotion of the two of them. But then, like, she's back at the bunker. I like the idea she's coming out of the shower. And then right here it is, the dragon guy. It's right behind me, isn't it? It's gotta go. But we just don't get enough story. I don't like her costume design for this. For me, just to experience a character for the first time, this is just silly. This is such a poor character design. I don't understand the symbol on her chest is like an S, right? It's like an S, maybe. It's like the Kiss S that they banned in Germany because it resembles the SS. We get a fill-in issue here also where she kind of, you know, we get into just a lot of these things. It's like Sue Richards is talking with Reed, and she's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love playing Galactus? Susan, I'm not playing Galactus at all. I'm trying to figure out this woman's reflexes and pinpoint any and all. So you're saying a 10, maybe. So, you know, like it's like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Like, how is he? You know, and then he's like, that's impressive. Like, you know, again, like, because they sell Silk in here just as perfect. And you see here in Reed Richards' simulation, Silk takes out Galactus. Where in Fantastic Four, what guys help me here? 43 to 45. The Galactus Silver Surfer trilogy, right? We have the Reed Richards needs to invent his way to defeat Galactus. You know, he I forget that device that he creates. So this book falls into these criticisms. Storytelling note here. If we kind of like split the page with the conversation here, Reed Richards does good work. He's looking left. He's looking left. He's looking left, right? So we always talk about this. We talk about splitting our conversations, and we keep one person on the left, one person on the right. But now he's looking off panel this way. I would say the angle here should be a little bit more up. Minor changes, but this just doesn't work. And we don't get the idea that he could be like spinning around his head. So, and then we get it's slobbering time. So we get just like food humor. I don't know. And then look here have I think I love her. So Johnny Storm just, and I don't know what's with this drawing. I would get rid of the Herbie robot that Johnny's with. So we're talking about mental illness here, where she's like, yeah, I suffer from anxiety. All right, our heroes are not weak. Reed Richards here, this is the name of the psychiatrist. So he sends her to a shrink. And he goes, my body can stretch all around this building. It's naturally in a state, its natural state is a puddle. That's incorrect. It takes everything I have to hold myself together. That weakens Reed Richards. And yes, I have anxiety. We do not weaken our heroes with mental illness. Anxiety is self-diagnosed. What the hell? People have it. People have anxiety. Not enough for BetterHelp to have a freaking app. And every YouTuber on earth promoting BetterHelp. Yeah, so we go, she's all up in the club. We go to the club, and over here, anxiety talk. And look, anxiety, you feel anxious. So she's out with her friends, and then she goes on a date with Johnny Storm. And then we get this flashback of when she discovers her powers, but that kind of, the flow of that somewhat contradicts the flashback that we have in this issue, where she basically tells her parents to F off. And she's got to take her brother out, and she's dating, and her parents want her to focus on school. Another Pan-Asian American trope, which is fine, because I actually know parents like that. And you think this was like her truth and reconciliation. This is her regret. But then we find out that everyone knows that she has powers. So it's like, do the parents now want her to leave the house because she should be in school studying? They don't want her to have a boyfriend because she's got to keep her grades up? Or are they just overly paranoid because she has powers? All of that would have been fixed if we had, I don't know, guys, more effing word balloons. More conversations. This has to go. That was such a wasted page. This has to go. We get a lot of this, guys, and I hate animatic panels for this reason. I really do. I know they are used often, but overuse in these 5 issues. Yeah, and we get them kind of doing, again, more animatic panels. Like, no. And then it's like, all right, let's go stop. Because now we're working on speed here. We know how to stop Silk. So here's what happens in 5. 5 is atrocious as of just what we're seeing. So cheers to all of you guys. We got like another flashback, more trauma. It's like her young life is traumatic enough from already what we've seen. The last time she saw her parents, she told them to go F themselves. We saw the flashback of her discovering her powers. The brother rejects her because of those powers. Again, the time frame of some of these flashbacks don't line up. But we get, and right here, like her brother's like, F you, dude, you know? And this is good. This is great. But it's the flow of the flashbacks and the building of this character. We have questions. I actually like this whole exchange for her and John Jonah Jameson. I think it humanizes him. But he calls her analog, which is, you know, again, take that out. Like, he calls her analog because she goes around with a pencil, with a notepad, and pens, and she writes stuff down. So he calls her analog. But then we're back to this guy getting hired now for like a third time by Black Cat to bring in Silk. I really like this panel though, just for being like, I assume Stacy Lou's a digital artist. Animatic, you have to go. But they team up with the dragon. They bust into this warehouse. You know, nice. She does great action, actually. She really does. They rescue the dragon's daughter. And then they're going to fight Black Cat and her crew. And I like that Black Cat does have these gold accents. I don't know why, it just works. Like right here. Like, it just works. So they fight. And here's the crazy thing. They capture Black Cat here. We get this revelation. Oh, and don't forget Black Cat. Cindy. I work for the people that have your family. So we waited 5 issues for that. This should have been at the end of issue 2. Issue 2. But Spider-Man runs off panel here. Okay? He runs off panel. And then during this whole fight, he's nowhere to be found, to the point that she gets subdued and injured. Where the hell is Spider-Man? This is why we don't have guest stars, because it's another wrench in the gear. The covers, Dave Johnson, right? It's Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson. So he's usually a good graphic designer, like artist. Very illustrative, very like exact, very nice stuff. He draw, like, even this cover, like, these are supposed to be teenagers or young adults, and none of these covers really sing to me. That logo, this logo's the worst. This might be like the worst logo for a major comic book character. To me, it's amazing that Silk is a major character. Not worth the value. Too many tropes that you hear about are in this. But pound by pound, pound for pound, way too much money, way too much time to get to a point that we should have had in issue 2. I don't understand this style of storytelling. It's not decompressing. It's not Brian Michael Bendis. It's not manga. It's not American superhero comic book style. This is, I don't know, like, and from the pages of Spider-Verse, and you don't know what that really means. Like, that's what I mean. Even just this character being here, we don't have enough information in the books to explain to us exactly what we're doing. Not enough information, too many pages wasted. The humor doesn't land. The Spider-Man guest appearance kills issue 5. If she's friends with the Fantastic Four, she should be, you know, like, you don't meet the Fantastic Four. I even hate this. What's that? Like, at the end of issue 3, Spider-Man, like, brings her the Fantastic Four. And like, this is how you want FF to be introduced to your character. This is how you want your character to meet the Fantastic Four. Like, what the hell?